I survived the war. Where am I?
This is the story of a soldier who survived the war, but discovered that survival was only the beginning. I open my eyes slowly, not because I choose to, but because something inside me insists that I should. There is pain, but it's distant, not sharp, not urgent, like it already belongs to the past. For a moment, I don't remember who I am. That doesn't scare me. What scares me is how calm I feel without knowing. The first thing I notice is the silence, not the absence of sound, the presence of it, a silence that feels intentional. Maintained, I try to move my fingers, they move, I expect resistance. Pain, a delay between thought and action, there is none. My body responds too easily, like it's been waiting for instructions. That's wrong. After what I remember, it should be broken. I don't remember the explosion itself. I remember the second before it, the pressure in my chest, the way the air felt heavier than it should have, the certainty, quiet, absolute, that this was the end. That certainty was never challenged. Until now, I take a breath. The air doesn't burn. It doesn't smell like smoke, metal, blood, or disinfectant. It doesn't smell like anything I recognize. It feels clean but not filtered, not recycled. Clean in a way I don't have words for. I realize I'm lying down. The surface beneath me isn't hard and it isn't soft. It gives slightly when I shift my weight, responding to me like it's aware I'm there. That thought makes my chest tighten. I look around, expecting equipment, wires, screens, something that explains why I'm still breathing. There's nothing. No machines, no lights blinking, no quiet mechanical hum in the background. And yet my body feels intact. I lift my arm slowly, watching for tremors. There are none. My shoulder doesn't protest. My ribs don't remind me of themselves. My head doesn't spin. Every movement feels deliberate, complete. Too complete. If this were a hospital, something would be monitoring me. If this were a field unit, someone would be shouting orders. If this were evacuation, there would be urgency. If this were home, there would be noise. But there's nothing. No voices, no footsteps, no language, just light. It doesn't come from a source I can identify. There are no fixtures, no shadows, no corners where it fades. Everything is illuminated evenly, without emphasis, without intention. That's when I sit up. My body obeys instantly. There is no weakness, no delay, no reminder of what I survived. That's when fear finally arrives. Not suddenly, not violently. It settles in quietly, like it has been waiting its turn. Because I shouldn't feel this whole, I look down at my hands. They are mine. The scars are gone, but the shape is familiar. The lines, the weight, the memory of holding things meant to be carried. They look earned, but they don't feel earned. I press my fingers into my palm hard enough to leave a mark. The sensation is there. Immediate, accurate, too accurate. Whatever happened to me didn't miss anything. That realization makes my stomach tighten. If this place can fix my body this completely, then it saw everything that was broken, every wound, every failure, every moment I wasn't supposed to survive, and it chose to keep me alive anyway. I don't know why. I don't know how long I've been here. I don't know where here is. I only know that no one has spoken to me. No one has explained anything. No one has asked my name. I scan the space again, slower this time. The walls don't look built. They don't look grown either. They don't resemble anything I've seen before, but they don't feel hostile. They feel observant, like I'm being allowed to exist here. That thought is worse than being trapped. Because time doesn't move the way it should here. There is no sense of passing minutes or hours. Nothing changes enough to measure. I stay seated for a while, listening for something to interrupt the silence. It never does. Eventually, I stand. The floor supports me immediately, adjusting under my weight with a precision that feels intentional, not mechanical, responsive. I take a step forward, then another. My balance is perfect, too perfect for someone who remembers falling. I expect a boundary, a wall, a door, something that tells me where I'm allowed to go. There isn't one. The space opens gradually as I move, not expanding but revealing itself, like it was already there, waiting for me to notice. That's when I feel it. Not a sound, not a touch, a tension. It's subtle but unmistakable. The sense of being perceived without being approached. I stop walking. Nothing happens. I turn slowly, scanning the light, the surfaces, the empty distance ahead of me. There is no movement, no shape stepping forward, but the feeling remains. I am not alone. In the war, this feeling meant danger. A sniper, a drone. An unseen presence deciding whether I was worth noticing. My body reacts before my thoughts catch up. My muscles tense. My breath shortens. There is nowhere to take cover. No weapon in my hands. No uniform marking my role. For the first time since I woke up, I feel exposed. I speak without planning to. Hello. The word feels heavy in the silence. It doesn't echo. It doesn't fade. It simply disappears as if absorbed. No response comes back. I wait. Nothing changes. I don't know why that unsettles me more than an answer would have. In the war, silence always meant preparation. A pause before impact. Here, silence feels different. It doesn't threaten. It observes. I lower my arms slowly, realizing I raised them without noticing. My body still expects rules, commands, reactions. None arrive. I begin to understand something that makes my chest tighten. Whatever is here doesn't communicate the way we do. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't explain. It watches. That thought follows me as I move again, slower now, more careful. I notice details I missed before. The surfaces around me aren't uniform. They shift subtly as I pass, not changing shape but adjusting texture, temperature, resistance. Like the space is learning how close I am. I reach out and touch the wall. It's warm. Not warm like machinery, warm like something alive. I pull my hand back immediately. The contact leaves no mark, but the sensation lingers, as if the wall remembers me. My heart starts to race and I force myself to slow my breathing. Panic won't help. It never did. In the war, panic was a liability. Here it feels irrelevant. This place doesn't react to fear. That realization is deeply unsettling. I look down at my chest and notice something I hadn't before. My uniform is gone. In its place is fabric I don't recognize. Simple, unmarked, perfectly fitted. I don't remember changing. I don't remember being touched. The implication settles in slowly. They had access to me while I was unconscious, complete access, and they didn't restrain me. They didn't confine me. They didn't arm me. They restored me. That choice feels deliberate. I walk further, following no direction in particular. There is no sense of outside or inside here. No horizon, no ceiling, just continuation. The feeling of being watched intensifies, not in pressure but in clarity. Like whatever is observing me is no longer guessing. I stop again. This time I don't speak, I wait. And finally something changes, not in front of me, not behind me, to the side. A shape resolves itself out of the light. Not emerging, clarifying. It doesn't rush. It doesn't approach. It stands still just far enough to make distance intentional. It isn't human, that much is clear immediately. Its proportions are wrong. Its posture unfamiliar. But there is nothing aggressive about it. No raised limbs. No threatening movement. It looks at me. Not with curiosity, not with judgment, with assessment. The way medics looked at me after pulling me from the wreckage. The way officers looked at casualty reports. Evaluating damage. I don't move. Neither does it. We remain like that, facing each other in silence, neither crossing the space between us. And in that moment, I understand something that makes my stomach drop. This isn't a rescue. It's an examination. Whatever they are, they didn't bring me here to save me. They brought me here to see what survives. The being doesn't move closer. It doesn't retreat either. The distance between us feels measured, like a boundary neither of us was meant to cross yet. I don't know how I know that. I just do. In the war, hesitation was dangerous. Here, it feels expected. I take a slow breath and realize something unsettling. My fear isn't escalating. It's stabilizing. Like my body has decided this moment doesn't require panic. That decision doesn't feel like mine. The figure shifts slightly, not forward but sideways, changing the angle at which it faces me. The movement is smooth, controlled, almost careful. I notice details now that the shock has faded. Its surface isn't skin. Not armor either. It reflects light unevenly, absorbing some of it, bending the rest. There are no visible eyes, no mouth, no features meant for expression. And yet I feel observed with an intensity that makes my chest tighten. Not watched, understood. The realization hits harder than fear ever could. In the war we were always seen, by satellites, by drones, by scopes and sensors, but this is different. This isn't surveillance. It's attention. The being raises one limb slowly. The motion is deliberate enough to be non-threatening but clear enough to carry intent. I don't step back. I don't know why. The space between us changes subtly, like the air itself is responding. I feel a pressure behind my eyes, not painful, just present. Memories surface without warning. Not the explosion, not the chaos. The quiet moments, sitting against a wall after a mission. Staring at my hands, wondering how many times they had been used without asking why. The pressure increases slightly. My breathing stays steady. I realize then that this isn't communication, not the kind I understand. There are no words. No images being projected, just selection. Something is being chosen. I feel my jaw tighten as another memory surfaces, one I hadn't thought about in years. A civilian, standing too close. Looking confused, the order came quickly. Too quickly. The memory doesn't play out fully. It stops before the moment that mattered. I feel exposed in a way I never did in the war. This being doesn't seem interested in what I did. It's interested in how I reacted. The pressure fades. The figure lowers its limb. Something about the space relaxes, like a held breath being released. I exhale without realizing I was holding my breath. The being turns slightly away from me, not dismissively, but as if concluding a phase of something. The assessment isn't over, but it's progressed. I try to speak again, unsure why, maybe habit, maybe instinct. What is this place? The words feel smaller than before. There is no response, but something changes. The light around us shifts, not dimming, not brightening, reorganizing. The space elongates in one direction, revealing depth where there was none before. An opening, not a doorway, not a corridor, an allowance. The being moves first this time, gliding toward the opening without turning its back to me. It doesn't signal for me to follow. It doesn't need to. I hesitate. In the war, following without understanding was routine. That habit kept me alive. I step forward. The space responds immediately, adjusting under my weight as if anticipating the choice. The opening leads into another area, larger, quieter, and somehow heavier. I stop just inside it. There are others here, not like me, not like the being that examined me. Different shapes, different sizes, different ways of occupying space. They don't acknowledge me. They are focused inward, engaged in something I can't see, can't hear. I realize then that I'm not special. I'm not unique. I'm one instance among many. That realization should comfort me. It doesn't, because it means this wasn't a rescue mission. It was a collection. I look back toward the first being. It hasn't followed me inside. It remains at the threshold, watching, not to ensure I'm safe, to see what I do next. For the first time since I woke up, I understand the true cost of surviving the war. I didn't escape it. I was carried forward as evidence, and whatever comes next won't be about saving me. It will be about what I represent.